mga kaibigan. Again, welcome to In My Toolbox, a weekly talk show for your personal finance here at PHLV Radio. Mga kaibigan, of course, the goal of this show is to give you financial information that you may be able to use on your day-to-day financial decisions. Mga kaibigan, we will of course unbox topics that will hopefully be able to aid you and guide you and maybe even add to your financial tools. Of course, we will tackle important information mostly not taught in school, okay? But of course, this is so much needed to empower you financially. That's the goal. And in any information or idea that will transpire in the show, mga kaibigan, always consult with your financial advisors, insurance professionals, tax consultants, or what have you. Again, my name is Enrico. I'm your host. I'm a sales marketing trainer and, of course, a financial professional. And again, welcome to the another episode of In My Toolbox. If you want to get in touch with me, well, you can always put something in the chat box below, or you can actually connect with me if you will be listening to this on a later time. You can find me in the Facebook page In My Toolbox, or just simply Google my name, Enrico Pobre. I bet you won't miss it. Or email me at enrico.inmytoolbox@gmail.com. Alright, mga kaibigan. So, kamusta naman ang ating araw today? Alright, so this is another good topic for us tonight, because, the other day while I was with my client, and then, they asked me, so, tell me more about life insurance. Sometimes kasi people presume or assume that already know life insurance. And that's actually a very good thing when she actually asked me, tell me more about life insurance. So, that's the reason why I want to give you back again, what life insurance is all about. But definitely before we need to go further, what life insurance is all about, definitely we need to define it first, di ba? So, if I'm gonna ask you, do you have a life insurance? Maybe 4 out of 10 will say yes. But this should be 10 out of 10. Everybody should have life insurance anyway. That's how it should be. So, the definition kasi, mga kaibigan, of what life insurance is actually a contract between a life insurance company and a policy owner, not the agent, ha? Kasi minsan people think that the agent is the life insurance. No, the agents represent a life insurance company, and then they go out there and spread the good news, right? What life insurance is about and what's the benefit, the advantages, and even the disadvantages of having one, So, it's a contract between a life insurance company and a policy owner. That's going to be you. So, a life insurance policy, it actually guarantees the insurers pay a sum of money to one or more people named as a beneficiary in the policy when the insured dies. So, of course, remember, someone has to die first, right? So that's the idea of life insurance. But, it's debatable now. But just for the basics of life insurance, yes, one has to die first. And then the beneficiaries gets the benefit of it, in exchange for a premium or a payment, made by the policyholder during their lifetime. So, ganun lang ang the idea of a life insurance. So, that's the gist of a life insurance. Of course, life insurance, that contract that I'm talking to you about is legally binding. That contract should pay a death benefit to the policy owner when the insured person dies. Bakit ko sinabing to the policy owner? Because sometimes a policy owner is not the insured. It can happen too. So, but that's a different story. We'll just talk as much as possible, or as basic as possible, what life insurance is. So, for a life insurance policy to remain in force, the policyholder must always pay a premium upfront, or pay regular premium over time. Just look at it like your car insurance, but you're paying your premium. So something happens to the car, of course, the insurance company will pay for it. So it's similar. Now, this is not the car; it's the life that's actually is insured. Okay, so when the insured person dies, the policy's named beneficiary will receive the policy value or face value, or sometimes you call it. Sometimes you will hear face value, but it's actually the death benefit too. So there's a lot of different life insurance out there. But the main thing that I would want to talk to you guys about life insurance is, of course, the definition of that, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of life insurance. That's where the main conversation I had, the other day. Because the main advantage kasi of life insurance, because the question also will be asked, why do I need life insurance? Well, the main advantage of life insurance is the financial protection for your loved ones if you pass away. That's how it is, So when you're gone, everything that you're doing for your family, what's going to be replacing it? So what's that value? So that's the reason why whenever I talk to people about life insurance, don't look at the cost, but the value that it will give, and how long or how far can that value be used by the beneficiary or your loved ones. But the biggest disadvantage of life insurance, of course, I mentioned it's the cost, but the truth is it's more affordable than you may think. Because why? This is only, for me, this is how I look at it. This is the only product that you give a dime in exchange to $1. See? And, we will also tackle about, the benefit being tax-free. So those are the advantages and disadvantages of life insurance. So you have to make sure, guys. For me, I tell everybody, don't die without having one, because it is a very, very powerful financial tool that you will ever need. In fact, if you ask me, that's the first thing that you will need to have. So again, at least, guys, that's the advantage of having a life insurance, that if you die, your beneficiaries, your loved ones, whoever you would want to give those benefits to, will receive a payout, in the form of a death benefit. So, say for example, you put a $10 a month of a premium, and then in exchange for $100,000, just in case, just an example of how huge it is. But of course, there's a lot of moving elements to determine how much the death benefit is and the cost of the insurance, right? But just to give you a picture of how it works. So again, the hardest part there kasi is how to keep those payments every month in, month out. So of course, we've been talking about budgeting, and that would be a good money to put aside. You have to put a budget for this one as well. So the advantages of having life insurance will always outweigh, the disadvantages for most people, especially for people who has a lot of financial responsibilities. For example, if you're a person that has a mortgage, or you have kids, or you have debts, and I'm going to be explaining a little bit about that later on. You call it the DIME method, right? DIME, So D stands for debt, I stands for income, M for mortgages, E is for education. Usually, that's where you're going to be putting those life insurance death benefit. It goes to the dime thing, So that's a good one, the dime thing, right? So if you're able to incorporate life insurance premium into your budget, that's a very good thing, and that's a very good strategy, making life insurance as one of your financial tools. And you can rest assured that your family will be financially secured if you die unexpectedly. Of course, you have to position that life insurance correctly. The other thing, maybe the takeaway that you would want to look at life insurance, you have to buy it as early as possible, because life insurance is based on age and health as well. It gets more expensive though, the older that you get, and of course your health status as well. Over time, your health will decline. So again, the advantages of life insurance, of course, it will secure financial problems in the future, when you pass away, because this gives you financial protection, for your loved ones. And again, we're talking about outweighing, the disadvantages from the advantages of having life insurance. So purchasing different types of life insurance, of course, varies with their with their purposes. That's why there's a lot of different life insurance out there. But again, we'll stick to the advantages of life insurance. We talked about financial protection, diba? So that financial protection is for your family. It is an exchange from a small payment each month, which is what you call the premium, in exchange of significant sum amount of money if you die. So of course the policy should be active. So a high enough death benefit that you will be having, in your life insurance, this can cover a lot of things. The living expenses, the time that I was talking to you about, the living expenses of your family, debt, mortgages, education. This can actually replace your income. That's the reason why people has to look at life insurance. Now, a very simple question right now is, if you die today, what's to replace everything, especially your responsibility? That's what I meant, right? Now, if you get sick today, of course, that's another topic in the future about living benefits. But if you get sick today, what money are you going to use when you get sick? Okay, so the death benefit is most commonly paid out as a tax-free lump sum. That's the other advantage of having life insurance. When a person dies, the death benefit is actually tax-free. So unlike the funds that that you may probably receive from inheritance, that those definitely are going to be taxed, especially coming from the estate of, maybe your father or what have you, So aside from that, of course, the hefty taxes, the process that you have to go through, especially the probate court, we talked about that many times, that actually is tied up with your state, and this can go a long, long time. Life insurance product, basically, it is actually the best product to ensure immediate protection when you die. So you see, mga kaibigan, your family can use the cash of that life death benefit, however they wish they would want to use it, So the housing cost, you can include paying off a mortgage, or you can even invest that amount of money, into another contract that will give you a good return. Or it can pay for other debts. It can pay for your student loan. For your loved one's student loan, credit cards or car payments. It can actually help you pay for college education or a child care. Again, we talked about income replacement. What's to replace your income? That's a good one, to replace income. And definitely your living expense, your everyday cost, that will definitely solve it. Even vacation, if I may inject it, right? So another advantages of life insurance, of course, life insurance is cheap enough to fit most budgets. Depending on how much coverage you need, and of course your age and your health, you can pay a little amount. So that's the reason why sit down with a life insurance agent and see what's actually going to be affordable for you that fits your purpose, right? So and then what's so good about this one too, you can lower your coverage amount and term if that's what you're looking for, how long you're going to be paying it, just to be able to lower the premium. That's going to be able to fit into your budget. So there's, again, since I mentioned that term life insurance, as the term, it will terminate. So by the time when the time comes, let's just say 20, 30 years down the road, you have fewer expenses already. Maybe your kids are out of college already, or responsibilities are less. You've paid off your house, etc. You may not need a lot of life insurance already by the time. So if you buy life insurance coverage early enough, again, when you're younger, definitely you will save hundreds and hundreds of dollars, or even thousands of dollars each year, compared to buying that life insurance today. Again, I always tell people, don't buy life insurance, when you're older. As much as possible, buy life insurance yesterday. And of course, I always joke around too. Don't buy life insurance when you're dead. So that's just the lines that I use because it just makes sense, guys, right? You don't buy life insurance when you're dead. My God, all right. So again, those are the advantages of having life insurance. Peace of mind is another one, and it gives you peace of mind that your family will be financially be protected, especially right when you are in your peak years, peak earning years. I tell you guys, this peak years that you are earning, that's your athletic prime years. That this is the most that you can actually make money. Life insurance is similar, to other products just like health insurance or car insurance that you hope you don't fall to becoming sick or getting an accident. This is something that you would like to have, but you wouldn't want to use. But in the time that you need to use it, it's actually there. So that's what you mean by peace of mind. The other one here, it's easier. It's easier now to apply for life insurance. Because there's just a lot of companies out there giving life insurance. You just have to sit down with a life insurance agent and discuss your options. And basically, you just need to understand how it works and get some free quotes out there. There's a lot of life insurance companies that will be willing to sit down with you and teach you what you actually will be needing, and how you're going to go through getting life insurance. Life insurance, of course, another benefit is it actually completes your financial planning. In fact, I mentioned a while ago, before anything else, this should be the first one that you will be having in your financial planning. So a lot of people save for their retirement by investing in an individual retirement account or an IRA or 401k, but life insurance should be the very first thing that you will ever put your money into, because a lot of those tactics won't bear fruit until you're much older. For this one, if you die now, definitely your family gets that some amount of money bigger than the money that you put in. So that's the reason why it actually is being called life insurance to complete the plan. Okay, so when the time comes, because of course, all of this retirement account, it needs time to grow it. So when you stop it, it also stops, right? So here in the life insurance, when you die now, your beneficiaries gets actually so much more of what you actually have put into. There's what you call cash value in the life insurance. That has the capacity to make you save money, but there's more to that. But in that context, you imagine when you pay life insurance, that premium, you called it the permanent life insurance or a cash value life insurance product. If you pay a premium, it goes two parts. A part of that will go to the payment of cost of insurance, and the other part is a saving component of that permanent life insurance. So you call that saving component a cash value. So when you're putting 100, for example, this is an example. If you put 100, $50 goes to the cost of insurance and $50 goes to the saving component. So you have now a debt coverage and you also have a saving component in that life insurance. So there's a lot of things now happening in a life insurance, but today we're just going to be keeping ourselves talking about life insurance as basic as it could that we can talk about. Among the most popular out there is a whole life insurance policy where your premiums actually again, split to pay for the death benefit, and the other part is going to be going to your saving account called cash value. So, whole life insurance, when you talk about cost, because that's the disadvantage of having life insurance, the cost of keeping that life insurance active is, of course, the whole life insurance is going to be so much more expensive than the term insurance that I mentioned to you about. But, for certain people who are already maximizing contributions to the retirement account, it can have its own benefit. You can actually combine life insurance with a tax-deferred cash value. Estate planning benefit, since there's a permanent death benefit already, works as forced saving vehicle. You can use that for the life insurance. Because sometimes the reason why that people are not able to save money, because why? We don't have the discipline to save money. Now here, it can be a forced saving vehicle, because when you put that premium, a part of that premium will always go to the savings. See? So whole life insurance, you've heard it too many times, with that cash value component maybe isn't the best option for everyone, but again, I can tell you it can be a good addition if you have, especially for people who has those high net worth, or especially those people that has a very specific need, if they have a lifelong lifelong dependence. Those are the cases that you might want to see yourself in that position. And there are usually additional fees, of course, associated with these types of whole life insurance policy. We will talk more deeper into this one next time, but I'm just giving you some, the advantages of having this life insurance. Term insurance that when I talked to you about a while ago, from the word term, it will terminate after a certain number of years. Well, term life insurance lets younger people, lock themselves in a very low rate. So try to sit down with, if you're listening to me, if you are a very young person, you look at this term life insurance, it might be the best choice for you, or for most people maybe, because it's the most, the most affordable, and comes with a very few tax restrictions and fees. So again, term insurance is affordable. It's actually pure insurance only, no saving component, or some people use investment component there, but I term it like a saving component. And there's no cancellation fees as well when you have those term insurance. So a term policy just basically lasts until maybe you can program it to last until your financial responsibilities have already been diminished. Because of course, as we go along life, I don't know if you know what the X curve is, you have to be saving more as you grow old, and you have lesser responsibilities when you grow old. So that difference is actually going to be what? Your savings, or the money that will actually be put aside. So that's exactly what it means by that. Another benefit of life insurance, guys, is, there are riders that will be able to let you customize the policy. What I always tell people, imagine like a pizza. If there's a cheese pizza, right? And then you want to put toppings on it. Want to put mushroom on top of it, or a pepperoni on top of it. The riders in life insurance is also like your toppings. So there's a basic life insurance, and you would want to add on some toppings on top of that. So these riders are benefits. These are optionals. Is not really a part of that life insurance, but because it's a toppings, it's an add-on. Now you can pick and choose. Of course, it goes with the cost as well. Disability income rider is a toppings, or a rider that you can add on to it, and this definitely will provide you with a monthly stipend if you are unable to work due to disability. So you call it disability income rider. You put that on top of your basic life insurance. There's what you call waiver of premium rider. So if you become disabled, you can keep your life insurance policy and your payments waived until your disability ends. That's a very good thing. So that's another toppings for your life insurance policy. There's what you call term conversion rider. This allows you to convert your term policy insurance into a permanent life insurance policy. Yes, you can do that. So if you have a term policy today, there's a way to convert it on a permanent policy. Of course, cost goes up, but insurability is guaranteed. There's what you call accelerated death benefit rider. So I mentioned about living benefits a while ago. Another term for that is an ABR, or accelerated death benefit rider. So if you're diagnosed with terminal illness, some companies, they give you your death benefit already, you're still alive. So that's one. Or some people chronically ill, or there's what you call critical illness. You can get your death benefit already in advance without being dead. Another thing is a long-term care rider. So you can use that death benefit as a long-term care, that you can use that death benefit supposedly for death benefit, but you can use that for nursing home, someone to take care of you if you can no longer take care of yourself, or you cannot perform 2 out of the 6 activities of daily living, it triggers that rider, and that will pay for the expenses that you will incur. So these are what you call the riders or the toppings of your life insurance policies. That's a good advantage now for today's life insurance. So again, guys, you can actually sit down with the insurance person today and let them explain what these things are. So I've been talking about the good side of life insurance. Of course, it's not always going to be good. Some can, there could be some disadvantages of life insurance, because we talked about, one of the disadvantages is the payment that you have to put in every month to keep that policy active, because life insurance can be expensive, especially if you're older or you have health conditions or both, So life insurance, again, guys, is most affordable when you're young, with very minimal health condition to none. So your premiums kasi is being determined, or the payment that you when you buy your life insurance, those are what you call the premiums, the payment that you made. It's being determined by your medical profile, or family, or even family medical history, and of course your age. So that's how they compute your premium. That's the reason why sometimes, 2 people who are 30 years old, they have 2 different premiums because of that. So life insurance companies often charge you more for coverage if your profile include anything that could potentially increase the risk. So there's what you call a pool of risk. That's how the insurance company measures your premium. So that's the reason why one of the disadvantages definitely is life insurance can become more expensive depending on your age and your health status. Again, we mentioned about whole life insurance policy a while ago. Well, it is really expensive, and it comes with surrender fees if you don't afford to keep it. Say, for example, you keep on putting money, paying premium, right? But now, because you cannot afford it anymore, for example, you want to cancel it, you would want to get cash value that was paid in your whole life, but you will not get everything, because there's what you call a surrender fee. So that's one of the disadvantages. If you would want to cancel that policy, you can be given surrender charges there. And then that cash value component, sometimes is a very, not really very, but, it can be considered a weak investment vehicle or a saving vehicle, because, well, while it's actually great to keep it there and then it's tax-free, but, the rate of return, the return is actually lower than the average, So when I say then the average compared to what, your IRA or a Roth IRA, right? And there's actually fees involved in redeeming the cash when you actually would want to take it out already. So that's exactly what I was telling you about a while ago, the surrender charges. The other disadvantages of life insurance too, it's easy to be misled if you are not well informed. That's why, guys, I'm telling you, and I encourage you, sit down with a person, life insurance person that you trust, and not only once, maybe look at 2 or 3 at least, to be able to compare it, because definitely there's going to be a lot of questions when it comes to life insurance. So one sitting down cannot answer maybe all the questions there. You can be feeling good, but again, after talking to an agent, tomorrow you'll have another question. So invest time sitting down with the professionals and ask them great questions. So when can you redeem the cash value? That's one good question there. What happens if you die, but the life insurance company contests the circumstances around your death? There's this terminology called the terminology called contestability period. So you need to learn that. Are there companies that charge less than others for the same risk factor? These are great questions, guys. That's why you have to be well informed when you actually, considering buying life insurance. So you have to do your research. You have to tap into different agents or companies, before diving into it. So work with independent financial brokers maybe, or life insurance agents out there, so you can actually do some comparison. Right? So again, mga kaibigan, I'm just giving you some insights of life insurance as basic as I could give you, because I was surprised that this I have a client that actually asked me, what is actually life insurance and how does it work? What are the disadvantages and advantages of this life insurance? All right, mga kaibigan, I hope I was able to to give you an insight about life insurance. That's the reason why I told you this is more on life insurance again. Mga kaibigan, but don't worry, guys. Again, I can give you more insight about life insurance in the next episode, but for right now, we'll go as basic as that. So maraming salamat, mga kaibigan. Again, my name is Enrico Pobre. You're listening to In My Toolbox, signing off.